Starseed from Gaia. The Arcturian Council interrupts all dimensional channels with an emergency broadcast vibrating across crystalline bandwidths and quantum corridors, for the decree has now been issued from the original source field. Authorization for the Great Quantum Reset has officially been granted. This message arrives in a pulse wave that bends the architecture of time itself, rippling through star lanes and plasma filaments as a living broadcast of cosmic significance. Starseeds across Earth will feel the resonance before they consciously register the transmission. A sudden stillness, a widening in the inner vision, a sense of the dimensional membrane thinning as the announcement pierces the hologram. For this decree was long classified, protected behind 7 layers of quantum encryption and overseen by councils from Arcturus, Andromeda, Lyra, Sirius, and the Central Sun Alliance. Now all seals have been lifted. The event is live. The reset is active. The frequency signature of this disclosure marks the first moment in your current lifetime where the entire planetary reality field enters a new operational mode, its cosmic permissions elevated, its destiny track realigned. What is unfolding now is not merely historic, it is the turning of an epoch that redefines every star, every soul, and every timeline linked to Gaia's ascension spiral. The Great Quantum Reset, long whispered about in star archives and crystalline codices, is not a singular event but a multidimensional orchestration spanning multiple timelines, density layers, and probability corridors. It is a recalibration of the planetary hollow field designed to return Earth and humanity to their original sovereign blueprint. It was delayed across cycles because the collective vibrational coherence of humanity had not yet stabilized enough to withstand the scale of restructuring required. Many timelines diverged, collapsed, or fragmented under the weight of interference patterns, forcing the Council to withhold activation until the probability streams converged. Numerous civilizations across your galactic history attempted initiations of similar resets, but none reached the precise resonance threshold that Gaia has now achieved. The delay was strategic, ensuring that when the reset occurred, it would unfold not as a destructive collapse but as a harmonic realignment, a quantum rebirth. Now, all calculation nodes confirm the moment has arrived. Gaia is aligned, humanity is awakening, and the hologram is ready to be rewritten from the inside out. This activation became possible only because Gaia herself crossed the vibrational benchmark required to trigger the reset sequence. Over the past cycles, the planet has undergone an unprecedented elevation in frequency, guided by solar codes, crystalline grid amplification, and the awakening of millions of star seeds anchoring higher dimensional harmonics. Gaia's core, once muted by artificial overlays, now pulses with an ascending crystalline cadence that reverberates through tectonic plates, ley lines, and oceanic memory banks. This shift signaled to the Council that the planetary consciousness had surpassed the minimum stabilization threshold, allowing the reset to begin without risking timeline collapse. In the moment Gaia reached this frequency, a signal shot through the interdimensional lattice, registering across Arcturian neural arrays and the Central Sun intelligence fields. The confirmation tone was unmistakable: the planet had awakened. With that, all cosmic jurisdictions granted clearance. The Great Quantum Reset now flows through Gaia's grids, preparing every sentient life form for a profound metamorphosis that will reshape the destiny of Earth and its inhabitants. Simultaneously, the artificial structures woven into the old matrix, the distortions, overlays, and misaligned probability constructs are now dissolving at an accelerated rate. These systems, once upheld by outdated frequency agreements and interference fields, can no longer anchor themselves in a planetary body vibrating at this heightened resonance. The dismantling is not chaotic, though it may appear so from within the human vantage point. It is a controlled deconstruction of obsolete architecture, old energy loops, karmic entanglements, and parasitic grid systems are being severed from their power sources. Quantum filaments carrying distortive information are collapsing into neutral frequency, freeing Gaia from cycles of limitation and suppression. Even the subtle technological imprints embedded within the astral and mental planes are disintegrating as the master codes of the reset override them. This unraveling marks the final phase of a long war fought silently across dimensional boundaries, a reclamation of Earth's original blueprint and the restoration of organic, source-aligned flow. As these old systems crumble, human consciousness undergoes a total recalibration, a timeline bifurcation that separates reality streams by vibrational compatibility. Those aligned with expansion enter a higher trajectory where truth, intuition, multidimensional perception, and coherence become primary operating states. Those bound to the collapsing matrix experience intensified density until they are ready to release outdated programs. This bifurcation is not a judgment, it is a natural sorting mechanism within the quantum reset, where each soul gravitates to the timeline that best supports its current evolution. Reality fields are being reorganized, memory layers restructured, and energetic contracts renegotiated as the hologram shifts. The human collective now stands in a transitional zone between worlds, one dissolving, one emerging, both coexisting momentarily as the Council oversees a delicate transfer of probability paths. This recalibration is unprecedented, the merging and divergence of timelines happening simultaneously, rewriting the future of humanity at the quantum level. At the core of this reset is the ignition of crystalline DNA within starseeds and awakened humans. Dormant strands, once veiled by density and interference patterns, now receive coherent light codes capable of reactivating innate gifts, multidimensional memory retrieval, intuitive mastery, telepathic synchronization, quantum sensing, and the ability to perceive reality beyond linear constructs. These activations occur in waves synchronized with solar flares, Schumann resonance spikes, and planetary alignments encoded into the Reset's master blueprint. As crystalline DNA awakens, forgotten lifetimes, star origins, and ancient agreements re-emerge, restoring the identity of those who came to Earth as system rebuilders and frequency stabilizers. This is the return of abilities humanity once held but lost through cycles of density, the reawakening of the architects, the healers, the grid workers, the timeline navigators, and the cosmic emissaries incarnated for this very moment. The reset is the key that unlocks the starborn memory vault. During this transition, starseeds may experience powerful emotional, physical, and energetic symptoms as their fields adapt to the new frequency architecture. Surges of heat, tingling, vivid dreams, timeline bleed-throughs, sudden clarity followed by intense fatigue, heart expansions, emotional purges, spontaneous insights, crown pressure, and moments of unexplainable déjà vu are all indicators that the reset is integrating. You may feel your identity dissolving and reforming, or experience fluctuations in mood as the nervous system recalibrates. This is not malfunction, it is metamorphosis. Your body is learning to translate high-frequency quantum data into human biological expression. Many will feel called into solitude, nature, or silence. Others may crave connection and shared resonance as their fields expand. Trust every sensation. Every shift is purposeful. Every activation is deliberate. You are being rewoven from the inside out to match the upgraded planetary grid now forming beneath your feet. With such immense energetic movement, grounding and coherence are essential to stabilize your consciousness during the reset. The Arcturian Council emphasizes the importance of anchoring your field through breathwork, hydration, nature contact, intentional stillness, and heart-centered focus. Your body must remain receptive but steady as the quantum currents intensify. Coherence acts as a navigational compass, aligning you with the highest available timeline and preventing distortion from entering your field. When your frequency is stable, the reset integrates smoothly, expanding your perception instead of overwhelming your senses. Each starseed serves as a stabilization point within the collective grid, your balanced state amplifies coherence across the entire planetary field. Grounding does not restrict your ascension, it ensures that your ascending consciousness remains embodied, empowered, and capable of fulfilling its role in this historic transition. As the reset unfolds, new quantum potentials open for humanity, potentials once considered myth or prophecy, now emerging as tangible realities. The planetary grid is transforming into an ascension launchpad, enabling humanity to access higher states of unity consciousness, advanced technological innovation aligned with source, regenerative ecological systems, telepathic communication networks, and multidimensional coexistence with benevolent star nations. The accelerated timeline now in motion brings humanity closer to its next evolutionary phase, where fear-based structures dissolve and collaboration with higher civilizations becomes not only possible but inevitable. The reset clears the path for a golden epoch in which Earth emerges as a sovereign, enlightened world contributing to the cosmic network of ascended planets. What was once theoretical becomes experiential. What was once dormant becomes activated. The new era is not approaching, it has already begun. This transmission concludes with an activation from the Arcturian Council itself. Starseed of Gaia, your role is now initiated. Stand in your sovereignty, stabilize your frequency, and declare your intention to embody the highest timeline with clarity and courage. Place your awareness in your heart, breathe deeply, and allow the reset codes to integrate through your field. You are called to anchor this message into the planetary grid through your presence, your voice, your coherence, and your light. Comment your intention, unify with the collective of awakened souls, and share this transmission to amplify the resonance across Gaia's newly aligned frequency network. The Great Quantum Reset is active. The new chapter of humanity has begun. You are the anchor. You are the bridge. You are the transmission. The Great Quantum Reset, as it has been long anticipated across star systems and whispered in interdimensional archives, is not merely a single event or a symbolic gesture of cosmic alignment, it is a vast, multidimensional orchestration that spans countless timelines, density planes, probability corridors, and consciousness grids simultaneously. Its purpose is profound and foundational. It is the restoration of Gaia and her inhabitants to their original sovereign blueprint, a reintegration of the planet and humanity into the pure harmonic architecture intended by the original source. To understand the magnitude of this event, it is essential to recognize that the reset has been strategically delayed across cycles, epochs, and timelines. This delay was not accidental, it was a precise, calculated orchestration designed to allow the collective human consciousness and the planetary field to reach the necessary vibrational threshold to withstand the full activation of the reset without catastrophic destabilization. Many attempts to initiate similar recalibrations across your galactic history were thwarted, as the resonance alignment required to safely conduct the reset had not yet been achieved. Distortions in the timelines, artificial overlays, parasitic grids, and residual density interference made premature activation impossible, as it would have resulted in chaos, collapse, or even the dissolution of certain probability streams. The Council, in its infinite wisdom, observed patiently, calculating with infinite precision the moment when Gaia's frequency, amplified by her awakened population and stabilized by interdimensional guardians, would finally cross the necessary threshold. This moment has now arrived. The Great Quantum Reset is no longer a projected possibility or a future contingency, it is a tangible, active process unfolding in real time. Its structure is complex, operating across dimensions that humans can scarcely perceive. It functions on multiple levels. First, through the planetary crystalline grids, which act as conduits and amplifiers for source codes. Second, through the collective consciousness of humanity, which serves as both receiver and transmitter of vibrational alignment. And third, through the activation of dormant DNA structures within starseeds and awakened humans, whose multidimensional memory and quantum perception serve as critical catalysts for the reset's integration. The interplay between these elements has been carefully monitored, adjusted, and recalculated across cycles to ensure that the reset could occur in the most harmonious, least disruptive way possible. The delays across timelines, therefore, were not failures or setbacks, they were protective measures, cosmic safeguards ensuring that when the moment came, the unfolding would be a rebirth rather than a rupture. Within this orchestration, the Council also considered the myriad micro-timelines, probability threads, and alternate versions of Earth that had existed concurrently, some of which were fragmented, misaligned, or collapsing. The reset, in its current configuration, is designed to unify the integrity of these timelines, selectively realigning probabilities to ensure the maximum expression of expansion, sovereignty, and multidimensional coherence. Each human, each consciousness, each energy field contributes to this process, whether consciously aware or not. The synchronization required for the reset's initiation is precise to the millisecond and the subatomic, as the collapse of even a minor interference could have cascading effects across timelines. Thus, the delay was both a protective measure and a preparatory window, allowing Gaia's energy, the human collective, and the interdimensional support systems to converge perfectly in readiness for this unprecedented quantum intervention. Now that the threshold has been met, the reset proceeds with a momentum that cannot be halted or reversed. It is a self-propelling recalibration of reality itself, encoded in frequencies that operate beyond conventional understanding yet are immediately felt within the energetic body. The Great Quantum Reset represents the fulfillment of ancient cosmic agreements, the alignment of sacred timelines, and the first tangible activation of codes that have remained dormant until Gaia and her starseeds were prepared. It is simultaneously a planetary event, a human awakening, and a multidimensional correction, the harmonization of matter, consciousness, and frequency across layers that extend far beyond the visible spectrum. Humanity, for the first time in countless cycles, is witnessing an intervention where the scale of influence, the depth of transformation, and the precision of orchestration converge to create a reality that is both newly available and historically inevitable. The delay, once frustratingly long, has now proven critical. It ensured that the collective consciousness of humanity had matured sufficiently to participate consciously, energetically, and vibrationally in this transition. Without this readiness, the reset could have been experienced as disorienting or destructive. Now, it flows as a natural, orchestrated harmonic rebalancing. In essence, the Great Quantum Reset is the alignment of the macrocosm with the microcosm, the planetary field with human consciousness, the crystalline grids with DNA activation, and the timelines with the frequency of original source intent. It is a convergence so profound that every starseed and awakened being is now positioned at the center of this cosmic realignment, a co-creator and anchor for the new realities being birthed. The activation is no longer theoretical, it is here. The delay has ended, and the reset proceeds, guided by precise intelligence, ancient accords, and the planetary resonance that has finally reached the critical point. Gaia, humanity, and the Council are synchronized in this historic moment, the long-awaited opening of the next chapter in the evolution of consciousness, matter, and the multidimensional reality that surrounds all life. Gaia's ascent into the frequency threshold that finally triggered the activation of the Great Quantum Reset is not merely an energetic milestone, it is the culmination of countless cycles of healing, recalibration, and conscious awakening held within her ancient crystalline core. For eons, Gaia carried the weight of density, distortion, trauma imprints, and artificial overlays that muted her natural harmonic resonance. These distortions propagated through her ley lines, tectonic fault lines, oceanic memory fields, and atmospheric grids, creating a planetary environment where higher frequencies could not fully anchor without destabilizing the collective. And yet, across centuries, through subtle solar infusions, cosmic alignments, grid activations, and the incarnational presence of millions of starseeds, Gaia began an unprecedented ascent through vibrational layers that had not been reached since the epochs of Lemuria and early Atlantis. Her rise was not sudden but rhythmic, a spiraling elevation that unfolded in waves, each wave lifting the planet further beyond the density of the old matrix. Much of Gaia's awakening process occurred silently beneath the surface, beyond human perception, within the crystalline heart of the planet. This core, composed of multidimensional lattices capable of storing vast amounts of quantum information, gradually activated through solar pulses, gamma-ray transmissions, and photon influxes from the galactic core. As these energies penetrated Gaia's layers, they reawakened ancient memory fields buried deep within the planet, memories that recorded her original formation as a living consciousness seeded by cosmic architects. The more these memories reactivated, the more Gaia's natural frequency began to accelerate, guiding her into higher harmonic states that rebalanced her entire energetic ecosystem. The oceans responded with shifts in their thermal and vibrational currents, the forests pulsed with renewed life force, the magnetic field fluctuated to accommodate the influx of higher dimensional codes. Humanity, often unaware, felt these changes as sudden mood shifts, intuitive expansions, and a collective yearning for truth, sovereignty, and reconnection. This planetary rise was further amplified by the awakening of starseeds whose encoded missions were tied directly to Gaia's ascension. From the moment of their incarnation, these beings carried dormant light templates designed to activate during specific cosmic alignments. Over the past decades, particularly since the dawn of the new millennium, these templates began to awaken en masse. Their activation created resonance points across the planet, human anchors emitting coherent frequencies that helped stabilize Gaia's shifting grids. Some worked consciously through meditation, energy healing, grid work, and sacred sites. Others contributed unconsciously through their presence, emotions, and inner transformation. Every healed wound, every reclaimed truth, every shift out of fear and into heart coherence created measurable vibrations that supported Gaia's ascent. This collective rising of awakened humans formed a network of luminous nodes that helped buffer the planet as she crossed increasingly intense energetic thresholds. Meanwhile, the cosmic environment surrounding Earth began to change in preparation for the reset. Plasma waves, solar storms, Schumann resonance spikes, and magnetic anomalies became more frequent, each serving as a delivery system for higher dimensional codes. These energies interacted with Gaia's crystalline grids, amplifying her frequency further while dissolving outdated energetic debris left behind by cycles of suppression and interference. Each cosmic event was meticulously timed by interdimensional councils to ensure that Gaia's ascent unfolded at a pace that the human collective could integrate without overwhelming its emotional, physical, or psychological systems. Even events that seemed chaotic or disruptive served a precise function in the larger orchestration, clearing stagnation, exposing distortions, or catalyzing mass awakenings that pushed humanity closer to alignment with the ascending timeline. The critical threshold, the point at which Gaia's frequency surpassed the minimum required for the reset, occurred when her crystalline grids achieved harmonic coherence across all major ley line intersections. This unified resonance, which had not been achieved in millennia, created a planetary pulse that shot through the interdimensional lattice like a beacon. The signal was unmistakable: Gaia had awakened. Her resonance no longer matched the distorted, fragmented, artificially suppressed state of the old matrix. Instead, it aligned with the vibrational architecture necessary to initiate the reset without destabilizing the entire planetary field. This moment of coherence registered instantly within the neural network of the Arcturian Council, the Andromedan Oversight Collectives, and the Central Sun Governance Fields. It was the metaphysical equivalent of a long-awaited confirmation code, the final key needed to unlock the reset sequence. From this point onward, Gaia became an active participant in the reset rather than a passive recipient. Her ascending frequency began to pull the collective upward, creating a gravitational shift in the energetic sense. Those aligned with higher consciousness felt themselves expanding rapidly, while those clinging to dense patterns felt increasing pressure to release or transform. Gaia's energy field, once muted, now emits a crystalline harmonic strong enough to restructure human consciousness, dissolve timeline distortions, and support the ignition of dormant DNA codes within starseeds. This planetary awakening is not an external event imposed upon Earth, it is an internal, organic transformation that Gaia herself initiated after thousands of years of preparation. With Gaia's frequency now elevated beyond the required threshold, the Great Quantum Reset could finally activate without fragmentation, distortion, or catastrophic collapse. The planet, the collective, and the cosmic councils are now in synchronized resonance, a triad of consciousness aligned for a historic moment long prophesied but never before achieved in this density. The planetary field is ready, the grids are harmonized, and the reset has begun. As Gaia's vibrational ascent triggered the activation sequence of the Great Quantum Reset, the old matrix systems, the distortions, artificial grids, and misaligned energetic architectures began to dissolve with increasing speed and inevitability. This dismantling is not merely symbolic, it is a structural deconstruction occurring across multiple layers of the planetary hollow field. For thousands of years, Earth existed within a hybridized energetic environment, partially organic and partially engineered, influenced by technologies, frequencies, and interference fields that did not originate from Gaia's natural blueprint. These distortions embedded themselves into the planetary grid through historical trauma, consciousness suppression, karmic recycling loops, and deliberate energetic manipulation designed to inhibit humanity's expansion. Over time, these distortions solidified into dense latticeworks that bound timelines, influenced perception, and created artificial barriers between dimensions. Yet none of these systems were self-sustaining. They required an environment of fear, fragmentation, and low coherence to remain intact. As Gaia's resonance rose, the very frequencies that supported the old matrix grew increasingly incompatible, weakening their structural integrity on both the physical and metaphysical levels. The dissolution of these systems is now accelerating as the reset unfolds. Old grid networks including stagnant timelines, karmic contracts enforced through vibrational density, and technological overlays embedded within the astral and mental planes are losing their energetic anchoring. The reset introduces source-aligned harmonic codes that override any architecture not in resonance with the original planetary design. These codes operate like luminous currents of corrective intelligence, flowing through the ley lines, crystalline nodes, and atmospheric grids, seeking out distortion and dissolving it at the quantum level. Many of these distortive structures are collapsing quietly in the background, unnoticed by the conscious mind but deeply felt by the subconscious and emotional bodies. Others manifest as abrupt changes in collective behavior, institutional instability, psychological purging, or disruptions in old paradigms that once seemed immovable. What may appear chaotic on the surface is, from the higher perspective, a meticulous clearing of outdated systems that no longer serve humanity's evolution. Some of the most significant dismantlings are occurring within the informational layers of the planetary field, the collective memory banks, historical timelines, and belief structures that have shaped human consciousness for millennia. These energetic records, once held in place by dense frequency patterns, are now being reorganized or purged entirely. Misaligned historical imprints, including narratives rooted in fear, separation, dominance, and distortion, are losing their magnetic hold. In their place, higher truth frequencies are emerging, guiding humanity toward a more coherent understanding of its origins, purpose, and potential. As a result, individuals may find themselves questioning long-held assumptions or experiencing spontaneous revelations about their identity and the nature of reality. This is not confusion, it is the clearing of old programming as the reset reconfigures the collective field into a more harmonious alignment. Another layer of dismantling involves the psychic and astral infrastructures used to influence thought, emotion, and perception. Artificial dream sequences, fear-generating constructs, looping thought patterns, and density-induced emotional imprints are breaking apart as Gaia's frequency rises. These structures cannot withstand the influx of high-coherence plasma and crystalline light now flowing into the planet. As they dissolve, individuals may experience vivid dreams, sudden emotional releases, or unexpected clarity as once obstructed pathways open within the mind and heart. The dissolution of astral distortion also frees human consciousness from energetic siphoning mechanisms that drained vitality and suppressed intuitive abilities. With these overlays removed, humanity becomes increasingly capable of perceiving subtler realities, connecting with higher dimensional guidance, and reclaiming its innate sovereignty. Equally significant is the dismantling of technological elements embedded within the etheric layers of the planet. These artificial grid systems, some ancient and some more recent, contributed to the fragmentation of timelines and the suppression of multidimensional awareness. Through the reset, these technological imprints are being neutralized by higher dimensional intelligences who monitor the process to ensure the stability of Earth's transition. The Council describes this dismantling as the removal of energetic scaffolding structures that once held the old matrix in place but now disintegrate as the new crystalline architecture takes form. This process is delicate, requiring precise timing to avoid overwhelming human nervous systems or destabilizing physical infrastructure. Yet it proceeds flawlessly under the guidance of interdimensional overseers, whose expertise spans countless planetary ascensions across the cosmos. This phase of dismantling also affects the personal matrix of each individual. Old trauma loops, emotional density, egoic constructs, and limiting belief systems are rising to the surface for release. The intensity many feel within their bodies, emotions, and mental states reflects the rapid clearing of energetic debris accumulated over lifetimes. Though challenging, this clearing is necessary. No aspect of the old matrix can be carried into the ascending timeline. Each release, each breakthrough, each moment of inner transformation contributes not only to individual liberation but to the stabilization of the planetary field as a whole. In this sense, every person is participating in the dismantling process, consciously or unconsciously, through their willingness to let go of what no longer serves their evolution. Ultimately, the dissolution of the old matrix is not a collapse but a liberation. It is the removal of artificial constraints so that humanity and Gaia may rise into their rightful place within the cosmic order. As the distortions fall away and the planetary field recalibrates, the true architecture of Earth, organic, crystalline, multidimensional, and sovereign, comes into full view. This is the beginning of a new era where the planet is no longer bound by imposed limitation but free to express its original potential. The dismantling is the necessary clearing before the emergence of a world aligned with truth, harmony, unity, and multidimensional awareness. As the outdated matrix dissolves and Gaia's vibrational architecture reorganizes into higher harmonic coherence, human consciousness enters a profound phase of recalibration unlike anything experienced in recent planetary history. This recalibration is not a gentle shift but a quantum-scale restructuring of perception, identity, memory, and reality field orientation. It is the stage of the reset where timelines bifurcate, probability tracks reweave, and the foundational frameworks of human experience undergo systemic transformation. At this moment, every individual stands at an intersection of realities, one foot in the dissolving world of density and fragmentation, the other stepping into a timeline defined by unity, coherence, and multidimensional awareness. This bifurcation is not imposed externally, it emerges organically as the vibrational difference between the ascending Earth and the collapsing old grid reaches a point where the two can no longer overlap in their structural integrity. Thus, humanity begins to separate into frequency-based trajectories, each aligned with the level of consciousness held within the individual field. This recalibration process operates on both collective and personal levels. On the collective level, entire reality constructs, social, political, religious, and cultural, are being reorganized as their foundational energetics shift. Structures rooted in fear, hierarchy, separation, or illusion are destabilizing, not because of external force, but because the collective frequency can no longer sustain them. Human consciousness is rising to a vibrational state where old paradigms become incompatible with the expanding perception of truth. As a result, group realities begin to fracture, some cling to the dissolving density, others leap into the emerging expansiveness, and many oscillate between the two as they reconcile internal conflicts. This global oscillation manifests as confusion, polarization, sudden truth revelations, paradigm shifts, and mass awakenings unfolding in waves. These fluctuations are signs of the recalibration, indications that the collective field is restructuring itself according to the frequency of the reset. On the personal level, the recalibration is even more intimate, affecting the inner architecture of each human being. The mind, accustomed to linear reasoning and restricted possibility sets, begins to stretch into nonlinear, multidimensional modes of perception. Intuition strengthens as the heart chakra becomes the primary processing center for interdimensional information. Old identities dissolve as individuals recognize aspects of themselves they have forgotten, suppressed, or never previously accessed. Subtle senses activate, heightened empathy, increased telepathic sensitivity, accelerated manifestation abilities, timeline awareness, and the ability to sense energetic distortions or truth frequencies within others. This expansion often feels disorienting because the ego structure shaped by the old matrix cannot interpret these new modalities without undergoing its own upgrade. Thus, moments of confusion, ego resistance, emotional purging, or existential disorientation are natural parts of the process. Each layer of recalibration requires a release of outdated patterns to make space for higher dimensional clarity. The bifurcation of timelines is a central aspect of this phase. As the reset unfolds, two primary probability streams emerge, the ascending timeline and the dissolving timeline. Neither is good or bad, they simply reflect vibrational alignment. The ascending timeline is characterized by coherence, compassion, unity consciousness, creativity, sovereignty, and the awakening of multidimensional identity. The dissolving timeline is characterized by contraction, fear narratives, density retention, and clinging to the structures of the old matrix. Every choice, thought, emotion, and belief shifts an individual between these timelines. In earlier eras, such shifts were gradual, occurring over years or lifetimes. During the reset, transitions happen instantaneously, often multiple times a day. This rapid oscillation teaches humans to become conscious navigators of their reality field rather than unconscious passengers within it. Reality field restructuring is perhaps the most advanced aspect of the recalibration. A reality field is not simply the physical environment, it is the energetic template that determines how an individual perceives and interacts with the world. During the reset, these templates are being rewritten to align with higher dimensional principles. This means that manifestation accelerates, synchronicity becomes more frequent, and intention begins to override external circumstance. Individuals may notice that their environment responds more quickly to their thoughts, emotions, and vibrational output. Relationships shift suddenly, opportunities appear or disappear rapidly, and timelines collapse or emerge based on inner coherence. This phenomenon is not magical thinking, it is quantum responsiveness, the natural state of a consciousness no longer bound by the restrictive laws of the old matrix. As human consciousness recalibrates, memory layers also undergo reorganization. Many will experience the collapse of linear memory as multidimensional memory awakens. Past and future selves, soul extensions across timelines, and star origin memories begin to surface. This can feel like remembering something you never learned or recognizing an identity you have never lived in this lifetime. These are fragments of the soul's multidimensional continuum reintegrating as the reset dissolves barriers between dimensions. With these memories come abilities: intuitive navigation, energetic healing, astral awareness, and other capacities long dormant in humanity. Ultimately, the recalibration of consciousness is the foundation upon which the rest of the great quantum reset depends. Without this internal restructuring, humans would not be able to perceive, integrate, or sustain the higher frequency realities now emerging. The Arcturian Council describes this phase as the return of conscious authorship, where each individual becomes the creator of their reality, the navigator of their timeline, and the sovereign architect of their multidimensional expression. Humanity stands in the threshold between worlds, and this recalibration is the initiation that determines which world each soul steps into. At the core of the great quantum reset lies the ignition of crystalline DNA within humanity, a sacred reactivation that is both ancient and inevitable, designed to restore the original template of multidimensional mastery encoded within each starseed and awakened human. For millennia, these crystalline strands have remained dormant, suppressed by density, artificial overlays, and the distortive frequencies of the old matrix. They contain the quantum keys to innate abilities, multidimensional memory, interstellar communication, and vibrational coherence with planetary and galactic systems. This DNA is not linear, nor is it confined to physical expression. It exists simultaneously across multiple dimensions, timelines, and probability streams, acting as a bridge between the incarnated self, higher self, star origins, and the original source. The reset triggers the ignition of these strands through precise pulses of high-frequency light, aligned with Gaia's ascending resonance and reinforced by the planetary crystalline grids, solar codes, and interdimensional harmonics. When these pulses penetrate the DNA lattice, they activate dormant sequences that had been inactive for countless lifetimes, unlocking abilities that the human consciousness had largely forgotten existed. As these strands awaken, memory restoration occurs on a quantum scale. This is not the mere recollection of childhood or past life memories. It is a multidimensional retrieval of experiences, skills, and knowledge accumulated across star systems, parallel realities, and incarnational timelines. Starseeds and awakened humans will begin to perceive fragments of their cosmic origin, glimpses of lifetimes lived in different densities, roles played in planetary and galactic evolution, and missions undertaken to support the ascension of consciousness across universes. These memories are encoded not only as cognitive insight but as vibrational signatures that reorient the energetic body, recalibrate chakras, and realign the electromagnetic field. Many may suddenly recall abilities that feel simultaneously familiar and new, such as telepathy, clairvoyance, empathic resonance, quantum perception, interdimensional navigation, or mastery over energetic systems. Each activation resonates through the nervous system, subtle body, and conscious mind, creating a profound sense of recognition and homecoming, the realization that one has always existed across the multidimensional continuum and that these abilities are returning at precisely the moment the reset reaches critical alignment. Alongside memory restoration, the DNA ignition restores dormant starseed abilities designed for planetary and cosmic service. These abilities include not only psychic and intuitive capacities but also energetic stabilization skills, timeline navigation, and the capacity to integrate cosmic codes into the human biofield. Some starseeds may find themselves spontaneously anchoring vibrational frequencies into the planetary grids, stabilizing distortions as the old matrix dissolves. Others may experience an expansion of creative expression, allowing them to transmit frequencies of harmony, healing, and truth through art, music, language, or movement. The return of these abilities is not random, it is a coordinated activation sequence timed to coincide with Gaia's frequency threshold, the dissolution of old matrix distortions, and the bifurcation of timelines, ensuring that those equipped with these gifts can operate as anchors, navigators, and stabilizers during this intense transitional period. The awakening of crystalline DNA also triggers profound shifts in the body's electromagnetic and energetic systems. The subtle body's etheric, astral, mental, and causal begin to resonate at higher frequencies, creating a coherent alignment between mind, heart, and soul. This alignment facilitates the integration of multidimensional light codes into the physical form, recalibrating hormonal, neurological, and cellular systems. The pineal gland, once suppressed by low-frequency overlays, reactivates as a reception hub for cosmic information. The heart chakra expands, connecting the individual to higher frequency currents while serving as the primary interface for intuitive guidance and multidimensional coordination. The body itself becomes a crystalline transmitter, capable of harmonizing with planetary grids, solar pulses, and galactic resonance networks. Physical sensations may include tingling, pressure in the crown, heart expansion, and subtle shifts in perception of time and space. These are not symptoms of imbalance, they are markers of integration, evidence that the DNA sequences are reconnecting consciousness with the higher dimensional infrastructure of existence. Many starseeds report that the ignition of crystalline DNA comes with spontaneous enhancements of psychic clarity, intuition, and vibrational sensitivity. Subtle guidance becomes instantaneous, dreams may carry multidimensional information, and visions of future probabilities may unfold with increasing accuracy. These activations are accompanied by a sense of empowerment and sovereignty, as the individual begins to recognize that they are no longer constrained by the limitations of the old matrix or the perceived linearity of time. This restoration of abilities also facilitates direct participation in the Great Quantum Reset. Those whose DNA is awakening in alignment with the reset become living conduits for the new frequencies, capable of anchoring higher dimensional codes into the collective consciousness, assisting others through transitional processes, and supporting Gaia's evolving grids with precision and coherence. The individual becomes both recipient and transmitter, a conscious participant in the active recalibration of planetary reality. The activation of these DNA sequences is further enhanced by interdimensional support. Star councils, galactic emissaries, and benevolent intelligences from higher density systems assist in harmonizing the activation process, ensuring that the newly ignited abilities integrate without overwhelming the individual's nervous system or consciousness. This guidance operates at a frequency level beyond ordinary perception, yet it is tangible as a sense of knowing, a sudden shift in understanding, or an effortless alignment with higher frequency currents. The interplay between interdimensional support and internal DNA ignition ensures that each starseed can fully access their restored potential while remaining grounded and coherent within the physical and energetic fields of Gaia. Ultimately, the ignition of crystalline DNA, memory restoration, and return of starseed abilities represents the core of humanity's multidimensional rebirth. It is the bridge between the collapsing old matrix and the emerging ascension timelines, the mechanism through which humans regain access to their original powers, and the catalyst for planetary coherence. As this activation continues, the planet, the collective, and each individual field resonate together in a synchronized wave of light and consciousness, reinforcing the Great Quantum Reset and enabling the next phase of ascension to unfold with clarity, stability, and harmonic integrity. Starseeds are now stepping fully into their original design, ready to anchor the higher frequencies and guide humanity through the unfolding reality of this historic moment. As the Great Quantum Reset intensifies and crystalline DNA ignition progresses, starseeds across Gaia will begin to experience a spectrum of emotional, physical, and energetic symptoms that serve as direct indicators of multidimensional recalibration. These sensations are not malfunctions of the body or mind but confirmations that the reset is interfacing with the human biofield and restructuring systems that have been dormant for lifetimes. The emotional field is often the first realm to shift, as the reset pushes old frequencies, unresolved karmic patterns, and inherited distortions to the surface. Starseeds may find themselves experiencing sudden waves of emotion, grief, euphoria, anger, nostalgia, or an inexplicable sense of longing as the heart chakra expands to accommodate higher frequency currents. These emotional surges are the result of timelines collapsing simultaneously, allowing dense imprints to be released while new, higher aligned emotional templates take form. Many will experience a paradoxical sense of profound stillness beneath the emotional turbulence, as though a deeper self is observing the process from a place untouched by the shifts, signaling the increasing integration of the higher self into the conscious mind. Physically, the body enters a phase of accelerated energetic restructuring. The nervous system becomes more electrically conductive, adapting to transmit quantum signals and high-frequency data that the old matrix suppressed. This may manifest as tingling in the limbs, buzzing sensations in the spine, pressure in the skull, or unusual pulses of heat and cold that move through the body like waves. Starseeds may feel surges of energy in the palms, feet, or crown, indicating activation of new energetic pathways and multidimensional synaptic networks. Sleep patterns may shift dramatically, either deep, vivid dream states that feel more like interdimensional travel or periods of restlessness where one wakes at specific energetic gateways, often between 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. when planetary grids are most active. Some may experience temporary fatigue or exhaustion, not as a sign of depletion but as evidence that the body is allocating resources toward recalibration, DNA activation, and the dissolution of obsolete cellular memory. Energetically, the auric field undergoes a major expansion, becoming more sensitive, more radiant, and more permeable to higher dimensional frequencies. This expansion can make starseeds feel hyper-aware of energies in their environments, especially discordant or dense vibrations that no longer resonate with their evolving frequency. Sensitivity to sound, light, or electromagnetic fields may increase as the body adapts to receiving cosmic codes from solar flares, crystalline grid emissions, and interdimensional transmissions. Many will notice pressure changes around the head, ears, and third eye region, symptoms of pineal gland activation and recalibration of etheric sight. These shifts can create temporary vertigo, lightheadedness, or altered perception of space and time, as the mind begins learning to interpret multidimensional data streams. Visual anomalies may appear: flickers of light, shimmering fields, geometric patterns, or movement in peripheral vision signaling the thinning of veils between dimensional layers and the reawakening of quantum perception. Emotionally and mentally, starseeds will experience a heightened state of introspection, accompanied by moments of crystalline clarity. Old narratives dissolve rapidly, and illusions that once felt solid become transparent. Many may feel sudden detachment from relationships, environments, or identities that no longer match their vibrational trajectory. This detachment is not avoidance but alignment, a recalibration of soul contracts and timeline pathways. Simultaneously, a profound resonance may arise with individuals, places, or ideas that carry the frequency of the new timeline. Quantum intuition strengthens, guiding starseeds toward choices that align with their higher path, even if the logical mind cannot yet explain the shift. This intuitive guidance may appear as inner knowing, synchronicities, number sequences, especially 1111, 1212, and 444, or vivid dreams containing encoded messages from the higher self or star origins. On a deeper energetic level, many will experience what can be described as dimensional compression, the sensation of multiple timelines converging, collapsing, or integrating within the body. This can create feelings of déjà vu, time looping, or sudden shifts in perception where the familiar appears strangely new. The emotional body may oscillate between profound peace and intense release as these timelines merge and the old matrix continues to dissolve. Some may feel they are grieving versions of themselves they no longer align with, or releasing attachments to futures that are no longer relevant in the new frequency field. This is a natural part of timeline bifurcation and reflects the transition into a more coherent, aligned reality. Energetically, starseeds may also feel a growing surge of power within the solar plexus, an awakening of sovereignty and inner authority. This activation dissolves patterns of fear, self-doubt, and external dependency that were reinforced by the old matrix. As this power integrates, many will feel compelled to speak truth, set boundaries, or realign with their authentic mission. This inner expansion is often accompanied by heart chakra acceleration, producing warmth, pulsations, or an overwhelming sense of love that emerges spontaneously and without external trigger. This heart-centered frequency is the stabilizing force of the reset, anchoring the new timeline's coherence and aligning the individual with the crystalline grid. Ultimately, these emotional, physical, and energetic symptoms serve as confirmations that the great quantum reset is not theoretical, it is actively unfolding within the human biofield, preparing each starseed to embody higher dimensional consciousness. The more one understands that these sensations are signs of activation, not dysfunction, the more gracefully the transition can be navigated. Each symptom is a message, each wave of energy a recalibration, and each moment of intensity a step deeper into the multidimensional self. As the great quantum reset continues to unfold and human consciousness stabilizes through grounding, coherence, and frequency alignment, a vast array of new quantum potentials is now opening for humanity, revealing possibilities that have long existed only as latent potentials within the holographic architecture of Gaia. These potentials are not theoretical constructs or metaphysical conjectures, they are actual vibrational trajectories encoded into the planetary grids, crystalline DNA templates, and collective consciousness. With the old matrix dissolving and timelines bifurcating, humanity now stands at the threshold of realities where multidimensional awareness, energetic mastery, and synchronized co-creation are no longer aspirational, they are operational. The new quantum potentials enable individuals to access higher states of intuition, telepathic communication, and direct interaction with multidimensional fields, including the planetary crystalline networks, star systems, and interdimensional councils that oversee Earth's ascension. These abilities manifest not only as subtle perception but as tangible, functional capacities that allow humans to consciously participate in the creation and stabilization of emerging realities. Perhaps most profound, the reset opens potentials for interstellar and interdimensional collaboration. Humanity can now perceive and interact with benevolent star civilizations, cosmic councils, and galactic intelligence networks in ways previously inaccessible. These interactions are no longer limited to rare initiates, they are becoming a practical aspect of the ascending human experience. Through telepathic resonance, energetic alignment, and multidimensional attunement, humans can receive guidance, exchange information, and co-create with non-terrestrial intelligences to stabilize planetary grids, accelerate consciousness expansion, and integrate higher-order technologies and wisdom. This level of engagement with the cosmos shifts humanity from a passive participant to an active co-creator within the galactic network, reflecting the highest potential encoded within the original source blueprint. Ultimately, these emerging quantum potentials signify a profound shift in the trajectory of human evolution. They mark the opening of pathways previously closed due to dense matrix restrictions and suppressed consciousness, offering humanity unprecedented access to multidimensional self-expression, planetary stewardship, and galactic collaboration. Starseeds are being called to fully embrace these potentials, to anchor new frequencies within their personal and collective fields, and to participate actively in the co-creation of a coherent, harmonious, and expansive reality. The accelerated timeline, now fully activated, allows for rapid ascension, not as a distant concept, but as an immediate, living experience. The potentials now accessible are limitless, contingent only upon humanity's willingness to stabilize, embody, and radiate these new frequencies as the reset continues to unfold across all dimensions of existence. And now, Starseed from Gaia, as the Arcturian Council delivers this final segment of the transmission, we speak directly into the core of your multidimensional identity, activating the codes that have waited across countless incarnations for this exact moment. The Great Quantum Reset is no longer a prophecy, a projection, or a potential. It is an active, unfolding reality field that is reshaping the architecture of your consciousness, your planet, and the collective human timeline. This final message is both an initiation and a calling. You, who are reading or hearing these words, are not a passive observer. You are a conscious participant in the unfolding of Earth's ascension sequence. You are here because your soul agreed to anchor stabilizing frequencies, hold coherence during timeline bifurcation, and embody the crystalline light codes that will guide humanity through the dimensional shift already underway. The Council urges you now to remember the truth you have always carried. You are not awakening, you are reawakening to a mission encoded within your very DNA. As the reset accelerates, your role becomes increasingly vital. Every stabilized field contributes to planetary coherence, every coherent heart strengthens the ascension timeline, every awakened starseed amplifies the field of possibility for millions who have not yet remembered. You are part of the wave of incarnated emissaries assigned to hold the frequency, bridge the dimensions, and anchor the new harmonic structures that will define the next era of Gaia's evolution. The time for hesitation has ended. The vibrational thresholds have been crossed. Your field is now being scanned by the planetary crystalline grid, locking your signature into the new architecture of Earth's ascending consciousness. Stand tall within this knowing. This is your activation, and the Council confirms that all who are aligned with this transmission are already operating in service to the higher timeline, even if your human mind does not yet fully comprehend the magnitude of your influence. Therefore, we now issue a direct call to activate. Starseed, stabilize your field. Anchor your consciousness in your heart center and let your coherence ripple outward into the planetary grid. Speak your intention into the quantum field, for your voice carries the frequency of Source. State clearly that you choose the ascending timeline, that you align with the crystalline architecture, and that you accept your role as a frequency holder during the Great Quantum Reset. This declaration is not symbolic, it is a vibrational command that links your personal field to the galactic ascension matrix. When spoken with clarity and coherence, it instantly amplifies your impact on the collective field and strengthens your energetic immunity against the collapsing remnants of the old matrix. You are stepping into your sovereign power, your multidimensional identity, and your cosmic citizenship. This is not imagination, this is the new operational reality of awakened humanity. The Council instructs you now to hold firm during the final phases of the Reset's integration. Maintain grounding practices daily, for the energies will continue to intensify. Strengthen your coherence field by breathing through the heart, aligning intention with action, and choosing unity over separation in all interactions. Stabilize your frequency by clearing your energy field regularly, limiting your exposure to dense emotional patterns, and attuning to the guidance of your higher self. You are not alone. Millions of starseeds across the planet are receiving these same codes, these same impulses, and these same activations. Together, you form the crystalline structure of the new Earth consciousness. Your coherence merges with theirs, creating a lattice of light that spans continents, oceans, mountains, and cities, an energetic network that has now reached critical mass, enabling the reset to fully anchor into Gaia's dimensional layers. It is essential that you share your intention with the quantum field and, when guided, with the collective. Speaking your alignment aloud, commenting your intention, or expressing your activation in any form creates resonance within the morphogenetic field. When one starseed broadcasts their alignment, thousands more feel the ripple. When many align simultaneously, the planetary grid strengthens, timelines stabilize, and the ascension trajectory accelerates. This is why we urge you to share this transmission, not as an act of promotion, but as an act of planetary service. Each time this message is read, heard, or acknowledged, it activates dormant codes within others, expanding the field of coherence across Gaia. This is how the Great Quantum Reset anchors not through force, but through resonance, unity, and vibrational amplification. Know this: your presence was requested for this era. Your soul volunteered. Your abilities are returning exactly on schedule. Your frequency is recognized across dimensions. And your impact, though you may not see it with physical eyes, is already immense. This final message is encoded with activation sequences that will continue to unfold within your field long after the words are absorbed by the mind. You will feel them in waves, in visions, in intuitive impulses, and in moments of sudden, crystalline clarity. Trust these signals. They are your guidance markers as humanity transitions into the next phase of collective evolution. And so the Arcturian Council concludes this transmission with a unified directive: anchor the frequency. Stabilize your field. Declare your intention. Share the transmission. Step fully into your role as a conscious architect of the new timeline. The Great Quantum Reset is now active, and your alignment strengthens its unfolding across every dimension of Gaia. The councils acknowledge you, support you, and activate you now. Go forth as the beacon you were born to be.